Welcome back to Trekyards, everyone. He is Commander Cockings.
He is Captain Foley.
And I have an Erigah on his head. I want him alive.
Why?
Well, you know what you did. You know.
Oh,
anyway.
Gosh. Well, the only way to solve this problem
to
is to find the non-preserver technology. We'll see if that will be a satisfying payoff at the end, as we inch our way closer to that. One slight impulse jump at a time.
Yeah, in case you can't tell, we're talking about Season 5, Episode 7 of Discovery, Erigah.
So Stuart, what do you think of Episode 7? Things have now happened. What do you think?
I was both kind of impressed with this episode and a little bit annoyed at the end of it. We got to see a Breen dreadnought. I mean, that's awesome. Got to hear about more of the infighting. There's like 6 different Breen factions vying for power. Non's back. And her security team is useless. And spoilers, Locke dies. So it's actually an interesting twist at the end there, but with Maul's intentions. But I mean, they're ratcheting up the stakes. We even had more starships arrive, which was cool to see. And it was all right. It was all right. Got more Jet Reno, kind of. I like the episode. I don't know how it's going to stand on future viewings of it for me, but I was really kind of excited for what was coming, and then again it just kind of fizzles out at the end a little bit, and I don't even know anymore. I mean, it's still good. They're still maintaining the good vibe of this season, I think, and when you binge watch this, I'm sure it'll be fine, but we didn't get a whole lot of answers about the clue, even like a vague idea of where it is. I don't even know. All right, I was just sort of in it for the viewing experience. It's fine. How about you? What did you think of this episode?
Okay, it's not boring.
No,
but it's paced pretty poorly. For an episode that is meant to be like, if you read out the brief of this, the Breen make their move. They come all the way through Federation space, through the borders, travel hundreds of light years to get to Starfleet headquarters. They face down our armada the best we can get. A battle of wits against one of the 6 top people of the entire Breen assembly, with a fight for life with the antagonists, would sound amazing. It's not amazing. It stays at like a 6 out of 10 pace, and never migrates from that. And while it has some charming moments, it's padded beyond belief with, like, normally you have, this would be an action episode in theory, or a tension episode. You'd have smaller bits ramp up, epic things would happen, they'd slow down again, whatever. But this kind of just continues, and it has odd other little things. Which now they've got a precedent of everyone beams everywhere. So every time they're walking down a corridor to a thing they have to go do quickly, walking is wrong. Is just not a thing. So all the Jet Reno stuff was fine. Like, there shouldn't be walk and talks. There's zero reason for them anymore, which means that breaks immersion, and it makes everything they do feel like, oh, there's no tension, because there's no tension in the scene, right? Even though they're facing this, in theory, biggest thing ever, there's no tension. But there should be, and there would have been, but they ruined it. Book helping stamps again. Hoity-toity, oh, this clue is the biggest thing. Yeah, everyone's going to get killed. And no, you should go find Locke, because she's going to blow up the ship if you don't stop her. What do you mean? This can wait 10 minutes, her killing the ship can't. Like, there's things that don't make sense from a structural, to set up an antagonism pace stuff. And then, like, she escapes to then get captured, undermines that entire segment just for him to almost die. He could have been almost dying anyway. So that makes that feel like they wasted time to get to the same point. And then they keep showing the Breen beam in to Starfleet Command with no issue. So why don't they just beam Locke out? Or shoot, I mean, if there's a force field, shoot the force field. Like, it's that easy, right? You can't exactly argue that you can beam a medic next to him and can't beam him out, right? Like, you're setting up these... Like, I was kind of shocked that they were introducing an idea that they could beam straight to him, because then you're losing all the tension from the last scene of saying, well, we're going to bluff our way out of this. Oh, he's there.
Well, all their shields are down. They didn't have their shields up. That's why they could beam.
Yeah, so just beam him out. Again, no tension.
Through the force field for a lock, yeah.
Again, no tension, right? It is odd.
Can't get a lock on lock.
Boom. So just really lots of odd things like that should have been big, bold, and whatever, weren't. Rayna, it's like, I don't want to talk about this. One line later, so let me tell you everything about it. Again, it's not a good scene to write that sort of dialogue. And to have Tilly say, last week where you were growing the bridge that I wasn't there for, I had no idea you were doing it. You were great. You deserve more stuff. It's like, you weren't there.
Well, she would have read the reports and she was hearing what was going on.
Unless you saw holo recordings, the report does not equate to.
No, I disagree.
And it's a payoff to last week as well, which is again that doesn't feel satisfying. It's a lot of extending storylines.
Yeah, well, I totally disagree with you on the Tilly and Adira thing. She would have known exactly what Adira had done during that. And the other thing that bothered me was Burnham saying, that's the exact same ship that took out the Federation fleet that we saw in the future. And it's like, how did you know that? The ship wasn't there. Is that a Breen ship? And we didn't see anything in the rubble.
And also, there could be more than one dreadnought.
Oh, do you think?
Dumb line. Although the scale of it, especially given the burn scarcity, to build something that giant is kind of insane anyway, which definitely made the end feel a bit, again, pacing. Like, wow, our rescue ships have arrived. It's like, they're not doing anything. It adds nothing to it, right? I was expecting a kind of end of season 1 or start of season 1, like the entire armada, which would have been cool. I was like, it's like, nope, still not going to win. Again, not a good sense of urgency or tension or,
Yeah, I mean, also the whole Jet Reno being an Antiquities dealer 800 years ago. I mean, well, actually, longer than that, 900 years ago when they came from. 800 years ago was TNG time. So, I love that she said she padded her resume. That's kind of funny. But then the moving library thing is also kind of interesting. But at the same time, it's like, that's 8 centuries plus the burn. And
it should have blown up.
Yeah,
it would have blown up in the burn. Had a warp drive. You're right.
But it wasn't active. Probably.
We've said that. They've never said that. They said all active warp cores. Active does not mean at warp. I know. We think not at warp, but they've not.
Well, I still, again, I don't think that's a problem. I think it just moves very slowly. Would be my guess.
Yeah, but they're just going to ignore it. Like, it's fine. That's a good point.
Well,
it would have blown up. The chance of it,
for them to plot its current position as well, based on, I don't know if the reading that book got from it was the current reading or the past reading of the 800 years ago imprint on it. I don't know what that situation is, because that wouldn't make any sense. It was 800 years ago, because it wouldn't be in the same spot, and the plasma storm and all that. So there's a lot here that it's like interesting enough, but it's not explained well. It's running into the same problem that the last 2 seasons of Discovery, well, all Discovery's had, and Picard season 1 and 2. The serialized storytelling, I think, is hurting it a little bit pace wise, and we've got 3 more to go after this one, and I don't know, man. At least the pacing for the whole season is better as a whole this season.
But that's a condemning last season, which was terrible, right? Above terrible.
Yes. Yeah. I don't know, man.
It's definitely fizzling out one episode at a time, which is sad. It's not going to bad episodes, but it's fizzling itself out. It's not meeting the promise of the first 2 by any means. It's not bad, but it should have been massively better. I was kind of expecting that they were going to buck the trend, as you kind of asking for years now. Like, get the main meat of the plot by like episode 5, like impress the audience with getting to it, and then having other stuff that you don't think is going to happen. But to pad out all 10, it's like we're at 7 of 10. There's 3 more. Unless all 3 are super focused, super exciting, super dynamic, we're going to probably go down to like the end of episode 9, the first 3 quarters of episode 10, and then the new bit. It's like, that's not enough for what could have been a pretty cool setup and payoff. Like, again, fizzling itself out. And I like that of Breen politics, but they should have been in episode like 2. As in, like, this should have been episode... Imagine if this is episode 4, and this end of this was episode 5. Like, oh, damn, you know? We've now got to beat the Breen for the last half of the season. That's great, but now we're near the end, and it's like, oh, this would have been great in the first 3.
I kind of like I mentioned earlier, I kind of like the ending a little bit, where I didn't quite understand Maul's idea, but then when Burnham clarified it, she believes that the progenitor tech could probably bring people back from the dead, so she's hoping that'll happen to Locke. But I agree with whoever said it. I can't even remember now.
I think Raina did.
Breen once the Breen actually get the technology, they're just gonna kill them both anyway. I think you might see a twist from Maul though at the last minute to realize that Locke's not coming back, and books a connection to her, so she's gonna end up like helping out Discovery in some way from the Breen ship. I have that feeling, but
well, you know, the characters that were set up, Bonnie and Clyde, they lost their urgency as soon as they lost their ship and their distinct momentum, because they're just common criminal people. They're not, which is kind of nice, refreshing. They're not that smart, they're not that capable, they're not that tech savvy, right? So you've put them in this giant situation. They have no plan, they have no escape. So therefore, as you're saying, all she has is this one. It's probably going to fail chance, but once we get there, we can try and shoot a way out, and that's the best we can do. So it's a bad plan, but it's the only plan, right? Although I think we called it in episode 3 about Bring Back from the Dead, that was going to be part of the plot. And so it was very underwhelming when Locke died, because I thought, the pacing felt really odd. Like, I thought there was going to be a twist there where he didn't die, and I was like, I guess okay. Or like it faked his biosigns as a way of making them believe, like some sort of interesting twist there. Then I'm like, he's going to be brought back in episode 9. I didn't feel anything because I know he's going to come back. You know, it's too telegraphed and too abrupt. And dying on a table of an overdose, it doesn't feel enough, you know, because they know they're going to bring him back, so it doesn't feel, you know. I was shocked by the fact that he died because it didn't do much for me, and I like the character.
I don't think he's going to. I kind of disagree with you on that. I don't think he's going to necessarily. The hope's going to be there that he will, but I don't think he will. The one thing that would kind of disappointed me as well, no Saru and no Federation president. Like, they had mentioned that she was doing things elsewhere, and it's just safer for her to stay there than be there, and that makes a lot of sense. But at the same time, I like the actress, and I also like Saru, and it's like these two are obviously missing from this episode, and it's a bit of a shame. It's, I think, again, another missed opportunity, even to have Saru there.
Action Saru could have beaten everyone up, because he's totally the action character.
Yes, action Saru.
Well, apparently he was off promoting a movie, so he was on tour for these weeks, so he just physically couldn't have been, which is why he's absent. Although I think it's kind of nice he's not there, because it focuses everyone else. His first couple were about him leaving in a subplot that will go nowhere because it is over, right? At least this stuff allowed more focus on the current stuff. But I didn't need the Adira, Tilly, Reno stuff. Although it was nice to see some actual development for Reno. That was nice. And given that age is such a variable in Trek, you know, you can be 60 and look 30. Maybe that's a bit of a stretch, but like that middle age isn't a big deal. So she didn't go to the academy when she was young. She had this sort of weird pirate, whatever, off brand, and then chose Starfleet. But then she ended up on a cargo freighter as a medic person, so didn't end up going very far, of course. But I like that she was just some person, never found her way, and then very late in life, I guess, probably bribed way into the academy, because you've got to be very, very good. You know, like some sort of clever way of getting to the academy. She probably didn't beat all the other students that, you know, as we know, TNG, they're 10,000 to get in, you know, she's not that good. Yeah, but I kind of liked it.
That was another example of small universe syndrome, though. Cross-reference all Starfleet personnel. Oh, it's the person that's on our ship that came with us to the future that has this knowledge. Which
also is sad that no one in the 32nd century fleet has any knowledge, and because they're future people, they have more knowledge. Like, where it could have been in the last 800 years, not... Like, you go to an expert that lived before the thing was set up.
And they said, when they said ancient antiquities, I half expected... Pelia. She's still alive.
Yep.
Because you know what I mean, like, and I was not disappointed because I do like Jet. I love the opportunity to see more of Jet Reno, but yeah, that's kind of where I thought I was going with that for a second. I was like, oh, they're going to do that, are they? But
yeah, that crossed my mind as well. But unfortunately, I give this show more credit often. So if this was
we both do.
If this is a normal show of Trek, this would be exciting because next week they'd sport to a ship that would feel antique and fun and old sort of cool. You'd be on board, they'd build a new set, you'd have props from the archive a la Picard Season 2, so you'd see old phasers, they'd put money into recreating loads of old props and costumes, and it would feel incredible because this is their chance to show old stuff. And you could integrate that, and then as you say, then Pelia could be someone who works there or temporary there, and that would be beautiful. And have them walk around with a TNG comm badge like Worf Sash, but TNG comm badges because she's like a scout leader. Like, you could really have fun with it, but I have no confidence they can do anything except like LED wall, a console, and some generic background of like walls. They're not going to do anything fun for that, properly fun, even though they could do lots with that. Just how the setup was, because that could have been that as a next clue. It's really exciting. A lost history museum preserver ship, cool, as in preserving things. I don't have any faith they're going to do something good with that, because this felt a very cheap episode, as did some other ones. They're not putting much money into this, except their giant cast budget, because of course they've got to pay the actors more every season, so their money's gone on the cast. It should have been great, and I just say Pelia, because if at the end they said, right, set a course for the thing, you see the ship, hail the person, and Pelia's on the view screen, that's where you end. Perfect. Awesome. But every episode, there's no ending of excitement. I'm always left with
no hook.
Well, next week. There used to be a hook. There's no hook, and I have very little thoughts about next week now.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's very, very strange this season.
And Nan doesn't seem like the same character. Her coming back was just irrelevant. And her security personnel were just ineffectual. Like, was she Starfleet, or is she some kind of special security team?
Yes.
She does say, yeah, Vance says, I can bring some of my security personnel over. One of them is a Romulan, so you can read your diary, which is just kind of glazed over at the beginning. Look, we got the whole diary now.
Yeah, that's every trope. We've got our biggest, baddest squad. Oh, the 5'1" scrawny actor beat them. Did they? Well, the plot said they did. And you can tell the way they shot that. They didn't have much confidence in the actor doing stunts. Like, let's do it in a way that you sort of know what's happening. But yes, pick better security, because they sucked. And this is the most important two people you've got. Because it's not like some random colony. Starfleet headquarters with the Academy, which implies the security officers. This is the best place with people. Those are the best two people you have.
And Maul and Locke having a conversation about how they're going to break out in an open room, and then the security are like, what? And get close. Like, seriously? The whole time that conversation was going on, I'm thinking, it's not a big room. Even if they're whispering, you shouldn't be allowing your prisoners to whisper, first of all.
Yeah. Although I did really like the idea of the cold heat, improve his metabolism to heal him. Like, the world building was quite nice. Although, of course, it's future world building, which means it's not irrelevant to all main canon. It's only alternate future anyway, so all this stuff is all mildly irrelevant, but it's like Strange World stuff. It's like its own thing, right? But it's still nice to see. But it's meandered in so much other stuff. Like, it was really nice when the Breen guy beams in and he has a translator who's obviously speaking in English or some equivalent. And then I don't quite believe Tarina can understand. I think they're just not editing in the fact that she's hearing English translator, because she can't understand Breen. That I don't think she can. She didn't learn it then and there, right? But I like the fact that she knows what he's saying properly, or at least bluffing that she does, to make him then say, well, F it, I'll speak for real.
Well, it was pretty accurate to be bluffing. She wasn't bluffing. She understands Breen. It's quite obvious.
I mean, they haven't seen the Breen since the burn, so I don't know if she would have learned Breen randomly, having not met them in 7 years. Another inconsistency, right? Like, another little problem with it. But a great little moment, because that pulled him out of it. And also using the other high up person, great. But I didn't quite buy the idea. He's come all this way. He's literally in the station with the person, and he's gung ho. And then the best option is to let them be, and that's his best thing. It's like, they try to make that a big argument. It didn't quite sell, I think. Because they probably could have shot Discovery first, disable its spore drive, and then you're done. Or you could have beamed aboard Discovery like they did. Just beam one person to engineering, throw a grenade, destroy the spore drive, you're done. Like, there are easy ways out that weren't this convoluted.
Put Maul and Locke on your ship and get out of here. Well, they'll trace our spore jumps. How?
Yeah, they did say they didn't
they? Yeah, what technology do they have to trace your jumps? That makes no sense, because the mycelial network, they can't track that. Like, that was kind of dumb.
Why not just...
So Burnham deciding to stay, I think, was a mistake.
But a nice twist in that you think they're just going to do the old, oh, we'll leave, and
yes,
at least it was a twist.
But
small twist.
I don't think it quite worked out well. I think Vance's plan was better. You guys get out of here. Like, they're not going to start a war. Like, with him here, that opens up so many possibilities. Like you said, they could transport him out of sickbay. They could do just destroy the ship to kill him if they wanted to kill him. I know they don't really necessarily want to in this case. We do get that explanation at least. But it was just... yeah.
And also establishing, scan the vessel. We can't. So you've got now detectable spore jumps and an undetectable ship. This is very useful technology they have.
Yeah.
Although, of course, they seem to forget how powerful spore drive is and how everyone still uses warp primarily. The idea that they'll always find us. Just jump to the other end of the galaxy. They're not gonna invest 400 years to warp to get you. Like, one jump, you're safe. Burnham, what was this? Every time we jump, they'll keep chasing us.
Don't jump one star system over. Jump to the Gamma Quadrant.
Seriously, Burnham. What? Again, when you invent God Tech, it's God Tech. You can and then, of course, you jump to the other end of the quadrant. Wow, they spent 40 years getting to us. Jump back. It is that easy. And also, in season 1, we saw it jump 48 times in 30 seconds using the old version. So the idea that you can't spore to dodge torpedoes, like a spore evasive maneuvers, of course you can. Right? Again, God Tech. The fact that Zora can't pre-guess the attack route, again, God Tech. There's all God Tech, Stuart. There's no tension. And why the hell is the Starfleet headquarters powerful enough to defend against a ship? So one last semblance of hope.
You saw the size difference between headquarters and the ship.
Yeah, but they're overcompensating for something. But why isn't this thing brimming with quantums or, tricobalt photons? Like,
There might be. You don't know.
well, again, lack of tension because they always felt like they were going to get killed. It doesn't matter how big a fleet, they always felt we're doomed. And having known the future version, we were doomed. Very odd episode, Stuart. Very, very odd episode.
So yeah, I'm not quite sure how to feel about this one. Learned a lot, saw a new ship, which is great.
Yeah. I feel like if you edited out half of it and left in the best bits, it would be great. But you'd have to cut out most of the episode because you're just leaving the best bits.
A new merch opportunity, Culber's winter jacket.
It's so
cool.
fly.
It's nice, yeah. That's the other thing, Maul being in the field in the cold with no jacket on. They didn't give her a jacket. She's wearing this like thin... she should be shivering. Anyway.
Or at least breath. I know it's expensive to do, but again, lack of logic. Simple. And it would have been fun had they just mentioned, oh! I was like, yeah, but her suit's thermal. Done. Half a line, right? But yeah, if it's meant to be that cold he's able to heal, she should either be feeling it or dying of hypothermia or need constant coffees. That could have been kind of a funny gag of Breen hot coffee every cup, a hot drink every 10. That could have been kind of funny, right?
I just thought it was funny he was wearing a jacket. The thing was so cold it was cooling down in all the sick bay. Not just inside the force field.
Well, like they wanted the smoke to permeate, the steam to permeate everything.
But that was a merchandising opportunity. Look at our new jackets, guys.
If only they sell merch.
You bought the Picard ones. Here's another. Anyway. Kind of a weird place to end it there, but we want your comments down below. What did you think of this episode? How did you feel about it? And anything we've discussed, please comment down below. Hit that like button and make sure you subscribe to the channel after clicking, click subscribe, then the bell notification icon so you get notified whenever we do lives and discussion topics because we love to do them.
And if you do, because you will, we thank you in advance, then subscribe, as you said, Patreon, monthly way, join the channel, monthly way. These are support direct to us and what we do here. Have been doing for 10 years! Goodness. So all the support does go a long way. Or draw our lives, our Drunk Heroes lives, our main lives, our review lives, our game show lives, our ranking lives. So much to join. You can see us, interact with us, and be part of a Trekkie community. And support us if you can. It helps us keep doing what we do, which we love to do and want to keep doing. So thanks in advance.
Thanks, and Admiral Vance. Anyway.
Thank you, Admiral Vance.
so much for watching. Until next time, he's Commander Cocky.
He's got a Foley.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.